AITA. Am I the a-hole for sleeping naked on top of the covers to teach my flatmates GF a lesson? New to Reddit, please bear with. So I, 21, guy, live with my childhood best friend, 22, also a guy, and have done for 2 years now. Up until last week, things were perfect between us. However, he recently got a new girlfriend, 23, lady, and she honestly seems absolutely great except for one thing, she seemingly has a complete aversion to knocking. She and I have quite a lot in common, and I actually like spending time with her. However, it bugs the hell out of me when she just barges into my room without knocking first. Now, she's never walked in on me doing anything untoward, I'm usually just chilling on my bed or studying at my desk. However, on at least 7 separate occasions now she's done it first thing in the morning to ask if I want coffee. I sleep naked. Every time prior to the last one, I've been under the covers and she hasn't seen anything. I always point out that she could have and she just giggles and says but I didn't. When she stayed over last week, in order to make my point, I intentionally slept on top of the covers. Sure enough, she barges in at 7 a.m., begins to ask if I want coffee and sees my you-know-what. She immediately backed out of the room and didn't speak to me for the rest of the day. My mate later pulled me aside and said I was bang out of order, accused me of deliberately exposing myself and pointed out that I'd threatened to do it before. I literally just said okay, but what if I had no covers and you saw everything before? They're now framing this to others that I'm some sick creep who intentionally got naked and lay in wait of her because that's how I get my rocks off, and I'm kinda seeing how it came off that way. AITA. Am I the a-hole for doing this? NTA. Not the a-hole. She knew it was a risk when she barged in. How is she not the pervert? Also, have you considered getting a lock? Considered it, unfortunately the lease doesn't allow it. NTA. Not the a-hole. Do these people not realize how crazy they sound? You were naked in your own room. You are out of order, mister. If they are the sort of people who then go around telling people you are some sick creep, they are not your friends. NTA. Who barges in without knocking? A-holes. NTA. They both are. Lock your door from now on if you can. NTA. This girl sounds like she's blatantly trying to get you in trouble. Maybe she has a twisted plan to get you out of the house? I don't know, but it seriously sounds like she might be doing this on purpose. You told her to knock on many occasions and she even giggled when you said next time I will be bloody naked, and then you get called a pervert and an arse for actually following through? She is most certainly the a-hole here. Sit down with your friend and really get this point across that she is invading your privacy. NTA. You threatened to do it yet she still barged in. What does that say about her? ESH. Everybody sucks here. She needs to respect privacy, but yeah, you knew full well what she would do, and, rather than talk to your friend like an adult about how uncomfortable it makes you, you knowingly and deliberately exposed yourself to her. Edit. A lot of people have replied asking how it's deliberate. I've said it a few times, but he knew she'd see him naked. He was exposed where he had previously not been exposed. In knowing she entered his room without knocking, he knew she would see him naked. His intent was that she see him naked. Edit 2. I think it may seem like I don't think she's as in the wrong, but I think she's more in the wrong, but why she sucks is obvious and requires little explanation. Spending more time explaining why I think he sucks too is necessary and may have given the false impression that I think he's more wrong. My apologies for not making that clearer in the first place. I hadn't expected for this to get more than almost no attention. NTA. I actually think it's pretty funny this is the way you chose to make your point. You deserve your privacy and she obviously isn't respecting that. If you told her before and she just shrugged it off, then maybe a little shock and real-life demonstration is what she needed in order to get the point across. Also, screw those people. You didn't expose yourself to her, she exposed herself to you by barging into your private space after being warned already. You have every right to be naked in the privacy of your own room. AITA. But you can get around this two ways. Replace the whole knob with a locking one. Keep the old one and put it back when you leave. Or even easier, buy a rubber wedge and put it under the door. Shepherd Hardware 9133 heavy-duty rubber door wedge, brown. Problem solved. Info. Have you flat out had a serious conversation with her that she is not to enter your room unless she knocks and waits for a reply? I reread your post and all I see is you telling her she might have seen something. She should still be knocking, but the convo seems a bit too lighthearted. Yeah, after that line and then intentionally exposing himself, it's hard to argue that it wasn't creepy. Even though that may not have been the intention. Why does he have to have the knocking conversation at all? She should know how rude she is. AITA. You asked her not to, got ignored, and also it's your room, you can sleep in it nude if you want. Your privacy should be respected by everyone. Turn it around on the GF. Why does she keep barging in, knowing that you sleep naked? I would ask her outright, in front of your friend. AITA. But honestly, what's so wrong about seeing someone naked? I mean, it's not end of the world. Think it's more about the intentional exposure, like I've seen dicks but I wouldn't be comfortable getting flashed. Obviously OP, AITA, not the a-hole. When you barge into a room where you know the person sleeps naked, have been warned several times to not barge in, then you know your fault. ESH. Everybody sucks here. Might be that I'm the minority here, but everyone in this is TA. The a-hole. Her. For not being a decent person and knocking. The BF. For not explaining the rules of the house and generally letting this shoot happen. And you. For being so petty as to deliberately expose yourself to your friends to make a point. I get your thought process and all that, but there were several other things you could have done first instead of that. AITA. She needs to knock. She is just plain rude. Your private space is yours to do with as you wish. She's lucky she didn't walk in on you doing other things. Dude, put a lock on the inside of your door. If she won't respect your privacy on her own, then insist by locking it. AITA. You can do whatever you please in your bedroom. She need to learn to behave like a guest in your home. AITA. Especially since it sounds like you've warned them and mentioned this was a problem before. I think they are way overreacting for seeing a little bit of peen. You've basically been forced to sleep a certain way because in essence she's been invading your privacy. Imagine if it was the other way around and you barged into her private room. Also, I see what you did there with the bear with me. I would just apologize for the peen and not be a dick about it any further, and maybe she's learned to knock now. I mean, you did this intentionally so she would see you naked. That was your goal, even if the reason behind it was to punish her and not for sex reasons. So they're not entirely wrong. ESH. Everybody sucks here. But they suck a lot and you only suck a little. ESH, but they suck a lot and you only suck a little. Can we get a ESHBTSAAYOSAL tag? I think this is basically it. Could he have taken another route and just gotten super serious with them? Sure, and it might have made them uncomfortable and made it weird. Gosh, that would suck if he made things weird between him and his roommate/GF. But who is the root cause and the black hole of the a-holery? The GF. Who is continuing the legacy of pure assholeness by slandering this dude to their friends? The GF and roommate. Who was the equivalent of a bit of crack showing. OP. What he did maybe wasn't cool and could have been handled better, but he's not an a-hole. AITA. You were in the privacy of your own room. You told her before that she should knock before just barging in on you. She didn't listen. That's on her. AITA. She needs to learn to frocking knock. She didn't take a frocking hint before, so you went extreme. They're idiots. You need new friends. AITA. I would ask roommate how he would feel if you barged into his room without knocking. I'm sure they wouldn't appreciate it if she was changing in his room or they were naked in bed. And as others have stated, buy something to block your door. I have a portable door lock that works well. I am between AITA and ESH. You should have thought this through more. Here's what I would say. I didn't invite her into my room, and I would have covered up if she had knocked. It's common decency to knock before entering someone's private space. How was I supposed to know she was entering my room? You can try to spin this on me, but I made it clear. I sleep naked. I would feel more comfortable if she knocked, and she ignored my wishes and disregarded my privacy. It's not fair that I have to be clothed or covered in my private space because she doesn't respect it. I apologize for coming across as creepy. That was not my intention. I don't want her to see me naked. That is the whole point of me asking her to knock. I didn't want to start anything or cause issues between us, but I am fully expecting her to knock from now on, or we are going to have issues.